Audible is the leading provider of spoken word entertainment and audiobooks, ranging from bestsellers to celebrity memoirs, news, business, and self-development. Every month, members get 1 credit to pick any title, plus 2 Audible originals from a monthly selection, and access to daily news digests from the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and the Washington Post, as well as guided meditation programs. Between a full-time job in IT and a full-time job in podcasting, it gets harder and harder to sit down and read the books I'm interested in. This is where Audible comes in. I can listen on my daily commute, relaxing, or while out running errands and still get in the books I've been wanting to get into. You can download titles and listen offline anytime, anywhere. The app is free and can be installed on all smartphones and tablets. Now you can try Audible risk-free with a special 30-day free trial by visiting audibletrial.com/Nerdery and Murdery. That's audibletrial.com/Nerdery and Murdery. Don't let your busy life get in the way of that great book you've been wanting to read. Go get your free trial of Audible today. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. This is Geoffrey, and we've talked about many times before that I experience problems and struggles with my mental health, and really without a healthy mind, being truly happy and at peace is hard. The good news is therapy does work. It's helped for me, but what is therapy exactly? It's whatever you want it to be. Maybe you're not feeling motivated right now and would like some tools to help. Or maybe you're feeling insecure in relationships at work, or you're not dealing well with stress. Whatever you need, it's really time to stop being ashamed of normal human struggles, and it's time to start feeling better because you deserve to be happy. And now you don't have to worry about finding an in-person therapist near you to help. BetterHelp is a customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. So join the millions of people who are seeing what online therapy is really about. It's always a good time to invest in yourself because you are your greatest asset. And there's a special offer to Nerdery and Murdery listeners. You can get 10% off your first month of professional therapy at betterhelp.com/Nerdery and Murdery. That's betterhelp.com/Nerdery and Murdery. Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this podcast.
Part 1 of 3. Yes, we are doing this. Yes, it's going to be awesome.
Whispers in the static, shadows deep. Stories of the strange and secrets we keep. Nerdery and Murdery collide in the night. A podcast of passion, sharp as a knife. Diving through the nerdy, a world so vast. Comic book pages and movies that last. Then the chill of the crime, dark and cold. Murdery tales that never grow old. Nerdery and Murdery, two sides
Welcome to episode 208 of Nerdery and Murdery.
Big 208. I'm Zig with your Nerdery.
And I'm Geoffrey with your Murdery. Welcome to another week of the highs and lows, the ups and downs, the good and the bad, and the nerd and the murd. I know you like this movie, and I just saw the trailer this morning. Gonna be a Netflix movie, and it's a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Happy Gilmore 2. Just saw it this morning.
Yeah, I saw some of that. I didn't know if it was real or not.
It's real.
Yay!
It's real. Coming out in July, I believe. And this episode will already be out by that point. But yeah, it's coming out. So
Nice.
I may have to watch that. I've said it before. Adam Sandler is hit and miss for me. And for me, when he hits big. When he misses big. So we'll see. We'll see on this one if this is the.
Did you like the first one?
Yeah, I like the first one, and I saw that Shooter McGavin makes an appearance in the second one as well. So
he has to.
yes. But you can't get Bob Barker.
No.
So that's a thing. I wonder if they'll get Drew Carey. That would actually be pretty funny.
That'd be really fucking funny. Drew Carey would do that just because that's how fucking funny it was.
Right. I mean, since he's the host of The Price is Right now, maybe it'll be him. That would be kind of funny. But yeah, I don't know.
Oh my God, Drew Carey taking Sandler apart.
That would be kind of funny.
When he was young, he'd always wear the big baggy clothes. You know why?
Drew Carey?
No. Sandler.
No.
Because he was fucking jacked.
Mm.
Yeah, he played 2-3 hours of pickup basketball every day of his life.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's kind of doughy now, but yeah, the reason he was always in jack because he figured if they actually saw him with his shirt off, they wouldn't buy the stupid kid. You know what I mean? It was actually a conscious choice. If he was jacked, no one would buy that.
Hasn't hurt Carrot Top?
No.
I mean, he's ripped us all get out. I don't know, but anyway, it looks funny. I may have to give that a whirl. The newest Superman trailer dropped. When I saw the first trailer, I wasn't so sure about this movie. The second trailer really gives you a lot more.
Okay.
And it looks a lot more interesting. You also do get a very brief clip of Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner in the new trailer.
Nice.
So I'm a lot more interested in this movie now that the second trailer is dropped. I was not really interested when I saw the first one. So we'll see how this goes. This is a James Gunn. See how it goes. The new Fantastic Four trailer dropped, which has several clips of Robert Downey Jr. I also saw a little bit of behind the scenes. Wanda Maximoff is in it. They show her. There's going to be quite a bit in. Oh no! I'm sorry. Wanda is in the behind the scenes shots of Secret Wars. I take that back. It wasn't Fantastic Four.
It's Secret Wars.
Yeah. And I finally saw the newest Captain America last night. I love the fact that adamantium has now been introduced into Marvel. I mean, I know that we've brought Wolverine into the Marvel universe through Deadpool, but adamantium really kind of opens it up for the X-Men coming. So I'm very, very curious about that and see how that goes. I like the new Captain America. It's a spy thriller.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. I watched it the other day. I love oh my God, what is the actor's name?
That played who?
That played Captain America.
Mackie.
Mackie, yeah. Robert Mackie.
Anthony Mackie. Anthony Mackie.
Because Robert Mackie. I cannot think of his name. Anyway, I love the fact that they're telling the storyline because, a long time ago, I say a long time ago, like 20 years ago, Falcon actually took over the role as Captain America, and they're telling that storyline, and I always thought that was interesting.
Right.
It's like, oh, that's like, but it wasn't like a really popular title, so I like that they're doing that. They're actually getting into some of the meat of it because it actually feels like comic books.
Yeah,
The
it was
same
pretty
reason why I like the Arrowverse stuff. Dude, that was like a series of comic books you had to keep up with,
right, right.
which didn't bother me, but
A couple of weeks ago, I had mentioned during the show that The Long Walk is coming out
hmm
September, I think it is.
hmm
Um, Stephen King short story, The Long Walk, one of my favorites. I've read it time and time and time again.
It's a Bachman short story.
Yes, yes, it is. Um, but I was really excited about that. And then I found out, I had no clue this was even in production. They have redone The Running Man, and it comes out October or November as well, I think.
Oh.
Supposed to be more faithful to the book, which I'm very happy. The first Running Man, if you've never seen it, is an Arnold Schwarzenegger flick,
hmm
and it's very typical Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's an action flick and blah blah blah. And they only loosely base it around the Running Man book, the short story.
Yeah.
It's because in the Running Man movie, it takes place inside of an arena, whereas in the book, you can go anywhere in the world and
Yep.
run.
Yep.
He was not a cop.
He's
he was a manual laborer, and his
yeah, he
wife was
scraped
sick. Yeah,
he scraped so like radiation
yeah.
shielding or something. It was awful. I mean, it was slowly killing him.
Slowly killing his wife. And which is why he ended up volunteering to go on the Running Man. So it's not a crime that someone's get on the Running Man. You actually volunteer for it for the game. So I'm very interested in that. I think Killian is being played by, hold please, the Running Man
I
2
did
got
love Richard
released.
Dawson in that role.
He was great in that role. It's just
He wasn't the
it
Running Man.
wasn't the book. Yeah. Here we
Well, I
go.
mean, it's the
Cat.
same with Total Recall.
Yes. Josh
It,
Brolin is playing Killian
nice.
in this one. I'm very excited. Glenn Powell is playing Ben Richards. If you don't know him, he was last I saw him in was Top Gun Maverick. As one of the pilots. He's a good actor. But I'm just really excited about this. I think this is going to be really good. William H. Macy is in it,
hmm
um, which he's always good. But Josh Brolin, I think, is as Killian could be very, very good. So I think this one is exciting. Um, really looking forward to that. Um, and like I said, I think I was just there. It is coming out November. Yep. So we get the Long Walk and the Running Man in November.
Oh, dude, they're doing all the Bachman books at the same time. Nice.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll do all of them because you also have
The one with the school shooter.
yeah,
They don't even produce that anymore.
and I don't think they'll put that one out. That one will hit too close to home for some people, so I
Yeah.
don't think it'll do that. But anyway, so some really good stuff coming out. I'm really really looking forward to it.
You
Um,
know, as we've said before, and I will say this with my full chest. To me, I actually prefer the Bachman stuff. He writes from a different perspective when he writes as
yes,
Richard Bachman, and
yes.
and and I don't know. It just shows that what a great fucking writer he is. Again, I'm not a huge Stephen King fan, but I love fucking Richard Bachman,
hmm Yeah,
and the dude himself is a fucking genius.
he writes in a very different tone. I mean, you really could believe they're two different people,
hmm
the way the Bachman books are. So, I'm a huge Stephen King fan. We covered that a long time ago. Um, so I'm really excited about these two. These will be theater watches for me. So
Nice.
anyway, as Zig mentioned in the stab, we have a special three-part episode. Have we ever done three? I don't think
We
so.
have not. We have not.
Um,
Unless you count like the Star Wars and the Star Trek, but those are ongoing series.
Right. Those are no,
This,
this is three over one particular subject in a
yes.
row.
hmm
I got it's a music list. I'll let Zig introduce it in a minute, but he gave me the song list so quite a while ago. Um, I I I had a lot of fun with this list. Um, I have a tally of songs I like and I don't like that will hit at the very end, but you do have to stay tuned for 3 weeks to get all of this in. So, stand by, get your song list ready, your
Mhm.
notes so that you can decide if you want to keep them for yourself. But I will let Zig take over on the nerdery side of the house.
Kids, today we're talking about power ballads.
Yay.
Okay, when I first this list started with two songs that I heard. I was like, oh yeah, these are all like late '80s, early '90s power ballads that I loved, and they're kind of cheesy, but I kind of can't get them out of my head. And I was like, man, maybe we should do an episode on power ballads. So I put it together a list. I sent it to Geoffrey. Geoffrey sent back some. Later on, we're like, we need to do one more. So we've got three lists, and all of them are over 10. So I think I counted it up the other day. We're somewhere in the neighborhood of like, what, 40,
Do we have
40
40?
songs altogether.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You don't have to sit here and listen to me count. 15, 16,
Okay.
17.
So, but then I thought, well, what makes a power ballad? So I started researching what it was that made it. And then I realized they haven't stopped making these songs. That they're still on the air now, but to be a power ballad, they have to follow a criteria. Now, I've got some information on power ballads as well. I took some of the criteria and added a couple of things. So there are 6 criteria. As long as they hit 5 of them, they're a power ballad, as near as I can figure. What the criteria are it has to have power chords. It has to have a bluesy rock guitar solo that's heavy or kind of heavy. The singer has to sing the tits off of them. It needs to get stuck in your head. It should be about lost or unrequited love or fear of love. And it needs to be a little cheesy. And also the song should tell a fairly complex story, but it does definitely need to be a little cheesy. So we're going to go into the idea of power ballads. So Simon Frith, the British socio-musicologist, I wonder if that's what I am. Anyway, and a former rock critic, identified the origins of the power ballad in the emotional singing of soul artists, particularly Ray Charles, and the adaptation of the style by performers such as Eric Burdon, Tom Jones, and Joe Cocker. To produce slow-tempo songs, often building to a loud and emotive chorus, backed by drums, electric guitars, and sometimes choirs. We have some choirs on our list. According to Charles Aaron, power ballads came into existence in the early 70s when rock stars attempted to convey profound messages to audiences while retaining their macho rocker mystique. The hard rock power ballad typically expresses love or heartache through its lyrics, shifting into wordless intensity and emotional transcendence with heavy drumming and a distorted electric guitar solo representing the power in the power ballads. Aaron argues that the hard rock power ballad broke into the mainstream of American consciousness in 1976 as FM radio gave a new lease on life to earlier impassioned songs such as Badfinger's Without You, Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven, and Aerosmith's Dream On. The Carpenters' 1972 single Goodbye to Love also had been identified as a prototype of a power ballad driven by the hard rock guitar sounds of Tony Peluso. British heavy metal bands Judas Priest wrote many power ballads, starting with Dreamer Deceiver and Beyond the Realm of Death. So I put down 10, and then there were a couple in our list that didn't quite fit 5 of the 6 criteria. So I made them as honorable mentions, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to go straight through them. So the first song in our first list is Kayleigh by Marillion. Marillion is a British neo-prog rock band formed in Aylesbury, Buckinghamshire in 1979. They emerged from the post-punk music scene in Britain and existed as a bridge between the styles of punk rock and classic progressive rock, becoming the most commercially successful neo-prog band of the 1980s. Marillion released their debut single, Market Square Heroes, in 1982, and followed by their first album, Script for a Jester's Tear, in 1983. They have released 20 solo albums in total. The band achieved 8 top 10 UK albums between 83 and 94, including a #1 album in 1985 with Misplaced Childhood. The album also produced 2 UK top singles, Lavender and Kaylee, which is what we're talking about today. Their follow-up albums did not do as well. They eventually got rid of their lead singer, Fish. That's why he always wears fish stuff on his, like fish necklaces and stuff. Honestly, I think they got rid of Fish because he had Gallagher hair. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's because he had male pattern baldness, and you can't do a fucking thing about it other than change your hairstyle. Hair transplants, creams, pills, all that stuff. Some of that shit doesn't work for us. Trust me, I tried all of it because I started going young, just like Fish did. But I think that's why the band kicked him out, and they've never been as good. But today we're talking about Kaylee. What did you think about Kaylee by Murdery?
I'm shocked as you give the description of the band and in being in prog rock. I had never heard this song. And I'm shocked.
It doesn't surprise me. The only other person I know who knows this song is Don Perry.
Yeah, I did not know this song. It sounded very familiar, but I know I hadn't heard it before. But after I heard it, damn, I love this song.
I thought if you hadn't heard this one, I thought you might like it.
It's gone into my playlist. I love this song. I listen to it all the time. I thought they were very Genesis / Emerson Lake and Palmer / Pal mix, and you can't go wrong with either of those, really.
Yeah.
But as I listened to those, I could hear some Phil Collins in there. I could hear some very Genesis stuff, and then you get into other parts of the song, and it was very Emerson Lake and Pal or Palmer, whichever one you want to go with, because they were both. This is a great song. I'm just surprised I did not know this. I'm surprised that neither of you have ever mentioned this one to me. This is a great song.
Kaylee, yeah, I love this fucking tune. That whole album's actually really great, especially if you like prog rock. I'm surprised you had not heard it before.
No, I'm gonna have to, and I can't believe I haven't done it before now. I need to go back and listen to some more of their stuff, see if there's anything as good as this. Because Kaylee just fucking rocks. I love this song.
Oh yeah,
love this song.
Yeah, Kaylee is fucking awesome. And to me, Kaylee sounds like the 80s. Yes, like this and What Do All the People Know? That's the 80s. That You Better Look Back by the Plimsolls. That's what the 80s sound like. But yeah, I love this tune.
Yeah, great.
And it is definitely okay. So let's run it across the criteria. It has power chords. It's got bluesy rock guitar solos. I would not classify them as heavy, but they are kind of heavy. He does sing the tits off that song. It gets stuck in your head. It is about lust, unrequited. It's about lost love. And it is a little bit cheesy. And it has a complex song structure. So, yeah, I'm in. It totally fits. No notes. The next song in this list is Love Bites by Def Leppard. Def Leppard are an English rock band formed in Sheffield in 1976, and since 1992, the band has consisted of Rick Savage, bass and backing vocals, Joe Elliott, lead vocals, Rick Allen on drums, Phil Collin, guitar backing vocals, and Vivian Campbell on guitar and backing vocals. They established themselves as part of the new wave of British heavy metal of the early 1980s. Their greatest commercial success came between the early 1980s and mid-1990s. Hysteria was the band's third album to be produced by Robert John Mutt Lang. The title of the album was conceived by Allen, referring to his car accident and the amputation of his arm, and then ensuing worldwide media coverage surrounding it. It is the last album to feature guitarist Steve Clark before his death in 1991, although songs co-written by him would appear on the band's next album, Adrenalize. The song itself, Love Bites, is a power ballad. It is Def Leppard's only #1 single in the U.S., Billboard Hot 100, and became a top 10 hit in Canada, Ireland, and New Zealand. On the UK singles charts, the track peaked at number 11. So it was huge. What do you think about Love Bites?
So much as I was aware of Def Leppard and kind of knew their music, it really wasn't until Hysteria that I really became a Def Leppard fan. And that's because it became mainstream with Hysteria. They had so many hits off this album.
Oh yeah, I think almost every song on the album became a single at one point or another.
I think so. So
I have two golf music lists. The one where Chelsea is with me and the one where I'm by myself or not with Chelsea. She can't listen to mine because I have hair bands, I have heavy metal, I have classic rock, etc. And there's just stuff Chelsea hates. In my list for when I'm without her, I have many Def Leppard songs, and 100% this is one of them. This song is absolute greatness. This song is almost the epitome of a power ballad. And the funny thing about this song, the summer this song came out, I went to basic training for the Army. Didn't listen to any music that summer. Couldn't, wasn't allowed to. When I came out and listening to the radio again, two of the biggest hits for that summer was I Hate Myself for Loving You by Joan Jett
Mm-hmm.
and Love Bites. And I'm like, what the fuck happened this summer? Was it the summer of bad breakups and whatnot? But anyway, this song is just powerful. It's great. I absolutely love this song, and this propelled me into a big Def Leppard fan. I love Hysteria. Great, great song.
I'm not a huge fan.
Well, you're okay.
I traded this cassette for Music for the Masses by Depeche Mode.
Yeah, it's okay for you to be wrong.
Yeah. Well, okay. I would say that it definitely hits 5 of the 6 criteria.
Yeah.
Because Joe Elliott is not a great singer. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of bands I like that they don't have it. But Robert Smith can't carry a tune in a minute bucket, but I love the way he sings. He did his best on this. There's another song later on the list. I'm like, this is probably the best song that motherfucker ever sang. To me, this song was way overplayed. But honestly, when you sit down and stare at it through the lens of a power ballad, no notes. This is a perfect power ballad. This is what they're talking about.
It was overplayed because Def Leppard hit the pop scene at this point. They hit the pop stations, and we've talked about the pop stations before. You had the weekly top 10.
Yeah.
And you're going to hear those top 10 songs at least once an hour on the pop stations.
Oh my God.
And so, so I can agree with you that I could see how this could be overplayed. It was never overplayed for me. I loved all of Hysteria. And for true for Def Leppard fans prior to this, Hysteria, they kind of hated Hysteria. Because
they liked Pyromania.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They liked Pyromania, but they hated Hysteria.
They hated Hysteria because it became too mainstream. But me personally, I loved Hysteria. I love the album, and like I said, this song to me is greatness.
Well, and this is a Mutt Lange album. Straight up, this has got Mutt Lange stank all over it, and not saying it's a bad product. That's not what I'm saying. I mean, as much as I may dislike it, I can still see that Hysteria is a beautifully made album. Is it overproduced? Yeah, but everything in 1987 was overproduced. Everything was. Even the stuff that I liked was overproduced. But honestly, if you're going to make a power ballad, sit down and listen to it and go from there, because he'll tell you how to do it. The next song in the list it's a little older. It's Hold the Line by Toto. Toto, stylized as Toto, is an American rock band formed in Los Angeles, California in 1977. Toto combines elements of pop, rock, soul, funk, hard rock, R&B, blues, and jazz, and they've released 14 studio albums and sold over 50 million records worldwide. The group has received several Grammy Awards and was inducted into the Musicians Hall of Fame and Music. Hold the Line is a song included in the American rock band Toto on its 1978 eponymous debut studio album. It was written by the band's keyboardist David Paich, and lead vocals are performed by Bobby Kimball. Hold the Line was released in by Columbia Records as the lead single for the Toto album in September of 1978, also being Toto's debut single. It became an international hit for the band and reached number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 14 on the UK singles charts. I love Bobby Kimball singing, but the opening of this song, he's so high, it definitely hits the cheesy mark. The only thing that keeps this song from being cheesy all the way through is Steve Lukather taking off on a guitar. I'm relatively certain that in the middle of that solo, his feet come up off the ground. It's like, God, and it comes out of nowhere. Because, it's dun, dun, dun. It's got this nice beat behind it. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this hits all six. Because Bobby Kimball sings the tits off the song. There are power chords. That rock guitar solo is all over it. It does get stuck in your head. It is about lost love, and it is definitely cheesy. What do you think about "Hold the Line" by Toto?
I disagree that this is cheesy. I think this is a great song, and honestly, I mean, we're 3 songs in, and I just want to stop the show and listen to nothing but more power ballads. I
All right, kids,
love Toto.
We'll use this as a break. Go listen. Okay, they're back.
No, stop and listen to the list. I absolutely love Toto. And were they a super group, or was that just Asia, or am I thinking somebody else entirely?
No, they're not a super group. They were they were a super group. They were basically all studio musicians.
Okay. I could listen to just about anything Toto.
They're nerd rock.
I know, and I love their stuff, and I love the fact that Weezer covered some of their songs, and they did a very, very good job, especially Africa. But this is a great song. This is great, but I'm ready for you to go to the next one.
Okay. The next song is This Love by Whitesnake. They're an English rock band formed in London in 1978. The group was originally put together as the backing band for singer David Coverdale, who had recently left Deep Purple. Though the band quickly developed into their own entity, Coverdale is the only constant member throughout their history. Is This Love, released on 18th May 1987 in the UK, is the second single from their self-titled album. The single was a hit for Whitesnake, reaching number 9 in the UK singles charts and number 2 in the US Billboard Hot 100 singles charts, making it their second biggest US hit after Here I Go Again, which topped the charts. The single was reissued in 1994 to promote Whitesnake's greatest hits. This version reached number 25 in the UK single chart. Is This Love is a mainstay of Whitesnake's live shows since 1987. As such, it is featured on several of their live albums, including Live in the Shadows of Blues, Live in Donington 1990. John Sykes played it live in the 2004 Bad Boy Live. And in 2015, Classic Rock Magazine ranked it as 7th of the top 40 greatest power ballads list. As far as power ballad goes, it hits all 6 of the criteria. It does. The video of Tawny Katane rolling around on Jaguars. It's for goddamn ridiculous. It is okay. It's very Spinal Tap to me. You get what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah, it is very what they were making fun of. That's what this is. But having said that, this song is fucking fantastic.
So there's a lot of hate for Whitesnake out there.
He named it after his dick. We'll start there.
Yes. But there's a lot of people that make fun of Whitesnake and their music, and I do not understand it. I mean, seriously, I'm checking out. I'm going to go listen to music now. This is a great song.
It is a great song.
Whitesnake was a great hair band. One of the things about some of these power ballads that you've got to realize is these are songs that not only are you having to lip sync to as you're listening to them, but you're squeezing your eyes shut, you're clenching your fists, and you're
playing air drums, you're playing air guitar.
Yes.
Yes.
This song is, I love Whitesnake, especially go to Still the Night. Still the Night, especially the guitar solo with the violin, whatever you call that thing.
Yeah.
The bow, is so great. But this song is wonderful. And I love the video. You talked about the video. This video showed off 80s fashion of trench coats and long coats. I need the 80s fashion back. I really do.
You know what's really funny? There's actually a blooper in the video most people miss. They left the sticker on the bottom of her shoe when she's rolling around on they left the price tag on the bottom of it. which is rolling around doing kicks and stuff across the two Jaguars, a black one and a white one. But yeah, you can definitely tell that when Coverdale was sitting down, he went, "I need to make this the Steel Dragon way," and he fucking did it. He fucking threaded the needle. Threaded the needle so well. No notes. This is a perfect power ballad, and he sings the fuck out of it. David Coverdale's not a bad singer anyway.
No,
but he
not at all.
Kicked it up a notch a little bit, and it's not the producer making his voice better. Like Joe Elliott, because Mutt Lange cleans up a lot of his vocals. His stuff is a way more cracky. Live, it doesn't sound bad, but on a recording, it's not great. If you listen to the really early stuff, it's like, man, the singer's terrible. He's not terrible. He just doesn't record well unless he's been cleaned up. But again, if you heard him live, he doesn't sound like he sounds on the record. So it's because Mutt Lange was like, just tweak this a little bit, bring this down. I mean, Mutt Lange was basically Pro Tools before they existed. Pro Tools was a dude. But Coverdale, no, he's fucking singing the shit out of this song. He named the band after his penis.
Yeah.
The first album was called Slide It In. Ridiculous. All right. The next song in the list is one of the songs that inspired the list. It's If You Needed Somebody by Bad Company. I love this fucking song, unashamedly. In 1985, Mick Ralphs and Simon Kirke, having just worked together the previous year on Ralph's solo album, Take This, decided to re-team for a new project. But in 1986, their label, Atlantic Records, insisted they resume the Bad Company name. Unfortunately, Paul Rodgers was already engaged with a new supergroup called The Firm. With Rodgers gone, the remaining two members partnered with new manager Bud Prager and Phil Carson and teamed up with ex-Ted Nugent vocalist Brian Howe, who was introduced to them by Foreigner's Mick Jones, as the new lead singer. In addition, Steve Price joined the band as the new bass player, and Greg Dysart from Uriah Heep joined on keyboards. Howe's vocal style brought more of a pop rock sound to the band, which Atlantic Records was looking for to bring the band back up to arena status after declining turnouts to previous live performances and dismal sales of Rough Diamonds. The band hired Foreigner producer Keith Olsen to produce the new lineup, initially albums 1986 Fame and Fortune. Burrell agreed to rejoin the band and was named checked on the Fame and Fortune album, even though they didn't play on it. Reflecting the music styles of the mid-1980s, Fame and Fortune was laden with keyboards and things like that. They toured that year with Deep Purple. So they did that first album, and it was kind of nice. For the next two albums, they decided to do power ballads. 1988's Dangerous Age. They replaced Olsen with Terry Thomas, and he got rid of a lot of the keyboards. Thomas also added a small amounts of keyboards on top of the rhythm guitars. Dangerous Age fared better than its predecessor, spawning several MTV videos and AR hits like No Smoke Without a Fire, One Night, and Shake It Up. The band's next album was Holy Water, which has If You Needed Somebody. So this is off of their album Holy Water. So basically what happened was two of the guys from Bad Company wanted to do an album. The record company said, you got to call yourselves Bad Company. And they decided, was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just make power ballads. So that's what they did. And there's two albums, Holy Water and Dangerous Age, which are nothing but power ballads. One came out in 1988. The other one came out in 1990. I ripped this off the second one. What do you think about If You Needed Somebody?
So I'm mostly familiar with Bad Company, but it's very interesting. I'd never heard this one. It's not a very Bad Company sounding song.
It's not. It's not actually Bad Company. That's why.
Yeah, and it's not bad, but I didn't really care for this one. I didn't dislike it. This song reminded me a lot of that song from the late 80s that I really didn't care for, which was When I See You Smile by Bad English. I hated that song. And so this
Bad English almost made this list.
uh, I'm glad they didn't because I hate that song. I think that song is, I think they whine throughout that entire song. But this one isn't bad. And like I said, it's just not very bad company. You couldn't have put this before me and said, "Hey, tell me who this band is," and I would have said, "Fuck, I don't know."
Yeah, No Smoke Without a
Um,
Fire is the same way, which is also on our list.
yeah. So
But yeah, this started the idea. I was like, man, I fucking love this song. Nobody ever talks about this because when they hear it, they're like, that's not Bad Company. Well, no, it's
yeah,
not.
exactly.
It's not. It's not. It's a super group formed by a couple of guys from Bad Company who wanted to make power ballad records,
Yeah,
and they did. Two of them are really great. Everything before and after that is, I'm sorry, trash.
yeah. Not great,
But
but I didn't like this one too
these two
much. Or
albums
I
are
didn't care
pretty
for this
damn
one.
good if you like power ballads. I love Steve House does sing the tits off the song. I would say it hits all six criteria. There's a line, "Don't you know my lovin' is love so real?" I was like, really? That's just lazy songwriting. It's the only part of the song I don't like. Um, all right. The next song in this list, "Broken Wings" by Mr. Mister. Mr. Mister was an American rock band from Phoenix, Arizona, active from 1982 to 1990. The band consisted of Richard Page on lead vocals and bass guitar, Steve George on keyboards, backing vocals, Pat Mastelioto on acoustic and electric drums, percussion, and Steve Ferris on guitars, backing vocals. Mr. Mister was the successor to the band Pages, fronted by Page and George from 78 to 81. Although they formed in Phoenix, Mr. Mister was actually based in LA. Richard Page had previously worked as a session musician for Quincy Jones. He composed a bunch of stuff for like Michael Jackson and Rick Springfield, Donna Summer, Kenny Loggins, Al Jarreau, and a whole bunch of other people. In 78, Page and his childhood friend Steve George founded the band Pages in Phoenix, Arizona to explore a pop fusion sound. They ended up working with Laura Branigan, and she's the one that convinced them to actually record because they were just basically session musicians who played on the side. It is a 1985 song recorded by American pop rock band Mr. Mister. It was released in June of 1985 as the lead single for their second album, Welcome to the Real World. The song peaked at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100s. It was a #1 hit, baby, in December of '85, where it remained for 2 weeks. It was released as the band was just about to embark on a U.S. tour opening for Tina Turner. Broken Wings became the first of two consecutive #1s for the band on the American charts, the other chart topper being Kyrie. Outside the United States, Broken Wings topped the charts in Canada, Australia, Belgium, the Netherlands, Norway, the Republic of Ireland, Switzerland, and the United Kingdom, West Germany, and in the top 20 for Austria, New Zealand, Spain, and Sweden. So this song was huge. My only problem with this tune is I don't think I can't find any power chords or guitar solos in it. Now there is kind of a guitar solo, but it is very, very understated. So I listened to Broken Wings like 10 times in a row to find it. And then I would realize that it is there, but there's a keyboard overlaid on top of it, so you just barely hear it. And I think that's what makes the song fucking awesome. It's because it's understated. What do you think about Broken Wings? Take These Fucking Things by
Thank
Mr.
you, thank
Mister.
you. Yeah, and you just stole my thunder right there. I was going to say that's misheard lyrics. Take the fucking things. It's hard to believe this song is. Say it with me, kid. 40 years
40 years
old.
old. Yes, it is.
This is a timely classic. It really is.
Yeah.
I do think it's a power ballad. I really do. Um,
Understated though.
I,
There's a lot of jazz in there that I kind of dig.
I still think it qualifies. I love this. I love the fashion here too in the video. Sports jacket, the long coat, the sleeves pushed up. So very
Yeah,
Miami
and
Vice.
a t-shirt.
Yeah, I'm watching that video and thinking, where are my pastels at?
Yeah,
I
I need a
need to
pastel
find my
jacket.
pastel. This is a great song. I love this.
Oh, and
It's
Richard
so
Page is
great.
a hell of a bass player too.
Yeah,
Let's not yeah, that boom 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 doo, 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 doo.
yeah. This
And
is this is a great song.
he's almost playing rhythm and melody at the same time. And I think
Hmm.
that's why that guitar solo is so understated because you're listening to the bass.
Yep.
Yeah, beautiful song. I would recommend it. Hey, these fucking things. And now what's sad is now that we said it, people are going to hear it.
Yes. Yes, they
And
will.
you're not going to be able to unhear it.
Yeah.
The next one is way more modern because, again, when I was applying these criteria to tunes, I was like, holy shit, wait a minute. Wait a minute. They didn't stop making these in the 80s. This fucking song's a power ballad. It is Helena by My Chemical Romance. My Chemical Romance is an American rock band from New Jersey. The band's current lineup consists of lead vocalist Gerard Way, lead guitarist Ray Toro, rhythm guitarist Frank Hierro, and bassist Mikey Way. They are considered one of the most influential rock groups of the 2000s, a major act in the pop punk and emo genres, despite the band rejecting the later label. They were formed in September of 2001 by Gerard Way, Mikey Toro, and drummer Matt Pelissar, who later joined by Hierro. They were on the subway on September 11th. That's when this band formed. They were all going to school at the New York School of Design, I think it was. They were all going to school to be comic book artists, which they all do. Gerard Way has his own imprint for DC and has for years. He brought back like Cave Carson and matter of fact, the television series, oh my god, what the fuck is the name of that? With George of the Jungle in it, where he's a giant machine
Brendan
man.
Fraser?
Yeah, Brendan Fraser.
He's a giant machine man?
Yeah, he's like he's like in a robot costume. He's like a brain in a robot costume.
Got me.
Oh man. Anyway, he's doing a lot of that. That's beside that. But they basically like, man, we need to go out and sing some songs because they were all musicians as well. So they released I Brought You My Bullets, You Brought Me Your Love in 2002. And then Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge.
Doom Patrol.
Doom Patrol, thank you. Yeah, he brought back Doom Patrol because it'd been dead for like 20 years. It's because of Gerard Way. He actually wrote some of it too, and drew some of it. Anyway,
I'm sorry. Hold on. I have to interrupt you because I looked that up. I saw something else. Another trailer I saw this weekend,
and
it comes out this fall on Hulu. King of the Hill with Bobby Hill grown up.
Yes,
I can't wait for that.
Yeah, in July, I think. I put it in our TikTok this morning. The
Awesome.
picture of the three of them together.
Awesome. Sorry, just side tangent. I happened to see King of the Hill when I was looking up the Brendan Fraser thing. But anyway, continue.
So off their second album, they released Helena. So Long and Good Night is a song. Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge. This song is what basically kicked them into the stratosphere. This is the one that everybody remembers. This is the one that was their breakout tune. And it's like, well, it's an emo song. And they're like, no, it's more like an 80s love song, is what they were going for. It is a lot harder. It is a lot harder than a lot of the stuff we've been listening to ahead of. But to me, this ticks all the boxes. It is a little cheesy because there is a violin break or a dance break. The only problem I have, much like the last song, the guitar solo is very understated. It's there, but it's underneath something else, which I like. I did not realize I liked that, but I like that now. What do you think about Helena by My Chemical Romance?
I listened to this one a couple of times, and each time I was just like, what the hell is this? Is this goth? Is this punk? I wasn't really sure. I did not like this one. I really
You didn't like it because of the classification or the way it sounded?
Because of the way it sounded. I don't care about the classification. You can be fucking hardcore rap if you want to. If I like it, I like it.
You like it, you like it.
It has nothing to do with the classification. I just did not like this song. But hey, I mean, this is the first one on the list that I just didn't like. The Bad Romance or Bad Company one was, it was okay.
It's kind of
It wasn't great.
Yeah.
just kind of meh. This one I did not like, and I tried. I gave
Yeah.
this one a couple
But
of shots, and it was
you
just
hear
no.
you hear the power ballad in it, right?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. I was pretty aware of why it was a power ballad.
Hmm.
I just didn't like it.
You weren't a fan. Okay, cool,
Uh,
cool, cool. It's like me and the fucking Def Leppard song. It's a great song. I just don't care for it. I don't. The same with Here I Go Again. I don't think they're either one of those are bad songs. I just I'm not going to put them on the radio.
we didn't do
So
Here I
you
Go
kind
Again.
of
We did Is This Love. We didn't do Here
oh
I Go Again.
we
We
did
did
Is This Love?
Yeah.
Sorry. See, um, the next song was actually cited as one of the progenitors of power ballads. It's Aerosmith. The Dream On. They're a rock band formed in Boston in 1970. The group consists of lead vocalist Steven Tyler, bassist Tom Hamilton, drummer Joey Kramer, guitarist Joe Perry, and Brad Whitford. Their style, which is rooted in blues-based hard rock, has incorporated elements of pop, rock, heavy metal, glam metal, and rhythm and blues.
Can I pause you right there?
Sure.
Real quick, you said Steven Tyler. Can we go ahead and throw out there Steven Tyler is the only man in the world that Mick Jagger can go, God damn, you got some big lips. So sorry, continue.
God damn, that motherfucker got some big ass lips. It's incorporated. Where fuck?
I lost you on that one.
A lot of people, they call them the Bad Boys of Boston, America's greatest rock and roll band. The primarily songwriting team of Tyler and Perry is sometimes referred to as the Toxic Twins. Dream On is a power ballad from their 1973 eponymous debut album, written by lead singer Steven Tyler. The song was their first major hit and became a classic rock radio staple. Released in June of 1973, it peaked at number 59 on the Billboard Hot 100, but hit big in the band's native Boston, where it was the number one single for the year on all of the radio stations. It was listed like 5 radio stations. Oh, apparently all of them. The song also received immediate heavy airplay on the former WVBP FM, often showing up in the number one position on their top 5 at 5 in June of 1973. Dream On. It hits the criteria. Yeah, I think this is probably the best he ever sang.
Agreed.
And he
Agreed.
does sing the tits off of it.
Agreed.
Just
I'm
all right
not
off.
I am not a huge Aerosmith fan. A lot of their stuff really bugs me. But how
It's
can you
very
not-
Spinal Tap, right?
Yeah, but how can
Yeah.
you not like this song? This is
Exactly.
a classic. And by the way, the cover of this one on Glee was one of the
Mhm.
finest moments on that TV show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
He-
sang
yeah.
the shit out of that song.
Oh yeah. 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 That thing had no arms, legs, tits, ass, whatever. He just sang
Yeah.
everything off of it.
Yeah, this
It
is a
was a
great
skeleton.
song and 100% a power ballad.
Oh yeah. 100%. Yeah. No notes. Ticks all 6 on the list. Again, it's another one of those that I think has been overplayed.
Oh yeah, well absolutely it has because it's one of their biggest hits.
Yeah, it is.
And it's
If not the
played
biggest.
over and over and over. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but Aerosmith also gets the gets the bad misnomer of having. Did they do the song, or is it just the song sounds like them from Enterprise? The TV show, the song at the beginning, the theme song. We've talked
Oh, no,
about
they
this
did
so
not.
many times. Thank you.
They did not. They did not.
It
They did not.
just sounds like them.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably made in the same studio.
Right.
No, but it does have kind of a Dream On Dream On feel to it, doesn't it?
And I wouldn't say Dream On. Sounds like something else from Aerosmith, but yeah,
Yeah.
the great song.
Yes. Yes. The next one is it was a hit at the time, but this is one of those songs that kind of disappeared. It is Wish I Had a Girl by Henry Lee Summer. He was born in Brazil, Indiana. Summer played basketball in high school and received a scholarship to play at college in Montana. However, he decided to skip college and pursue a career in music instead. Summer began as a singer and drummer, then taught himself to play guitar and keyboards. Throughout the late 70s and early 80s, he toured the American Midwest and South. He released 2 independent albums with the help of his manager, James Bogard, under their own Majestic Records label, and in 1987, Summer signed to Epic CBS Associated. Summer recorded several successful albums for Epic during the 1980s and 90s and toured with Stevie Ray Vaughan, Eddie Money, the Doobie Brothers, Chicago, Don Henley, Robert Palmer, Cheap Trick, 38 Special, and Richard Marx, as well as being on stage with John Mellencamp because it was a whole Indiana thing. And Guns N' Roses, because Axl Rose and Shannon Hoon are from the same small town in Indiana. But his song, I Wish I Had a Girl, it was #1 mainstream rock hit, number 20 on the Billboard Hot 100s. It was initially recorded for his 1985 album, Time for Big Fun. The song was re-recorded and released on his self-titled debut album on Epic 3 years later in 1988. This revamped version became the hit, his Hey Baby, on the number 18 on the Billboard Hot 100. Was released in 1989 from the album I've Got Everything. Summer was credited as producer of both the album and the single. So he got kind of famous after the song was released, but he'd been cool famous. Like he's famous when he's on the stage, but when he gets off, nobody knows what he looks like. That just seems like that would be awesome. Maybe that's what we should strive for, fame while we're on stage and people leave us the fuck alone in the grocery store. But yeah, Henry Lee Summers, I Wish I Had a Girl Like That. When I think power ballads, this is one of the songs I think of. But again, it was one of the songs that was really big in the summer of 1988, and then it went away. Nobody remembers it. What do you think about Wish I Had a Girl That Walks Like That?
I sure didn't remember this. This song was kind of meh for me. It sounded like half a dozen other artists. I didn't think there was anything original here. I mean, I'm listening to this. I'm like, are we Bryan Adams? Are we Bruce Springsteen? Are we John Cougar?
Yeah, it's Henry Lee Summer.
Who are we on this? I know who it is. I'm just saying it could have been any of them. It's just there was nothing really original here. I can't believe this makes sense. This was summer of '88. Again, Love Bites. I Hate Myself from Loving You. Also summer of '88.
You don't remember? Yeah, you couldn't listen to music,
right? So, but when I got out of basic training and could listen to music again, this song obviously was gone because I never heard it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Those of you keeping score for me that in this list so far, that's 2 no's.
2 no's.
Yep.
2 no's and 1 meh.
Yeah.
The next song is I Want to Know What Love Is by Foreigner. I can give you a bunch of notes. Yeah, this is a power ballad. I mean,
let me help you on this one. First of all, Foreigner is greatness anyway. They are greatness through and through. This song, though, dude, you want to talk about a song that you just can't help singing along to. This is another one. Fist clench, eyes shut,
holding your hands up over your head like this,
yeah.
Singing with it because there's a choir in this one. There was a choir in the last one too. They do kind of like to do the choir thing.
You sing this one in your car and you're singing it at the top of the lungs. You're singing with it, whether you can sing or not. You're singing this song.
Most people can't hit those notes.
No,
so it's usually pretty bad in the car.
Well, and Lou Graham can't hit those notes anymore.
No. That's right. Did he at least have backup singers?
He didn't do this song, which didn't shock me. No, because he did Jukebox Hero, he did Urgent, and
okay, yeah, those are both easy to sing.
Yeah, and he did Midnight Blue, of course, but he didn't do this one. I don't think he can hit this one anymore.
Oh,
this is a great song, and I love this song.
Yeah.
Start to finish, this is a great song, and it hits all the check marks.
Yes, it does. It's honestly though, it is only marginally cheesy.
And see,
it's uplifting. This song is uplifting.
I hate that checkbox on this. I don't find them cheesy, but that's just me.
We will give notes on Foreigner. They are a British-American rock band formed in New York City in 1976 by guitarist Mick Jones, vocalist Lou Graham, drummer Dennis Elliott, keyboardist Al Greenwood, and bassist Ed Gagliardi. They also got multi-instrumentalist Ian McDonald, and a founding member of King Crimson. They were huge in the 70s and the 80s. This song is a power ballad. It was released on their 1984 album, Agent Provocateur. The song reached #1 on both the UK singles charts and the United States Billboard Hot 100, and it is the group's biggest hit. And it's one of those things that when you think about power ballads, this song needs to be on there. You know what I mean? It's like, well, of course we're going to put this song on there. We're talking about power ballads. Should we put it in episode 1 or 2?
Yeah, you can't not have this song in there.
No, of course not. The next song is going to cause some controversy. I don't think it should be in this list.
Okay.
There are no guitars in this song. None. It's all keyboards. So that's 2 off the list. However, I agree it is a beautiful and wonderful song. It is Take My Breath Away by Berlin. It is an American new wave synth pop band formed in Los Angeles in 1978. The band gained commercial success in the 80s with the singles including The Metro, Sex, Ama, and No More Words. And then the chart-topping Take My Breath Away, which won, I believe, it won an Academy Award and a Golden Globe. I think it also won a Grammy. It was written by Giorgio Moroder and Tom Whitlock for the 1986 film Top Gun, performed by American new wave band Berlin, and won the Academy Award for Best Original Song, Golden Globe Award for Best Original Song. Italian.
It did not win a Grammy. It was nominated. Really? In 2004 and 2005. It wasn't even nominated when it came out.
Probably. They probably re-recorded it. But it did win an Oscar and a Golden Globe, and made Berlin, which was kind of a little niche band.
I'm looking here. The only awards and nominations, it says 2004 and 2005, Teen Choice Awards and People Choice Awards, and then the Groove Vault Music and Fashion Awards.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
It didn't win a Grammy? I thought it did. Yeah.
No, not what I'm seeing. Huh.
They got the demo for the song and they decided to do some new romantic scenes in the film with Tom Cruise and Kelly McGillis just so they could play the damn song. It was first offered to the Motels and they turned it down, and Berlin was like, we'll do it. And she sings the tits off this song. My God. However, after listening to it for, again, like the Mr. Mister song, I listened to it probably 5-6 times in a row. There are no guitars on this song.
Well, I think the bass line that they use on the synthesizer kind of stands in for that.
Terry Nunn did the vocals for it, and Terry Nunn is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But again, this song kicks ass. It won an Oscar for the biggest movie of 1986 and the movie that gave us Tom fucking Cruise.
It didn't win an Oscar, did it?
It won an Oscar and a Golden Globe.
Okay, I have to look that up because I do not remember that winning an Oscar.
Yeah, it won the Oscar for best song from a movie. It was up against some heavy hitters too. It won the Academy Award for Best Original Song and Golden Globe Award for Best Original Song that year.
Oh, well,
that's why I thought it won a Grammy.
Well, wait, this shows Take My Breath Away for Best Original Song in the Academy. Why didn't that other page was wrong?
Yeah, it won the Academy. It didn't win a Grammy. I thought it was actually.
There's a Golden Globe.
Yeah, it won a Golden Globe and an Academy Award.
Yeah, the Top Gun anthem won the Grammy that year.
That's what it was. Yeah, okay, that's what it was. That's why I thought it was this one, because Top Gun won everything that year.
Yeah. Well, it didn't win Best Picture, but it won several. Film editing, original song, best sound effect. The sound in Top Gun is amazing. I mean,
yeah.
I definitely say that.
Yeah.
Interesting. That other page was very wrong. I had to go to the Top Gun page. we had a best of the 80s, and this song was not in the list.
Exactly.
But if you expand this list to 20, this song goes in.
Best of the
Um,
80s. Yeah.
yes, this is a great song.
Well, okay. What we did was the Rolling Stones best
True,
of the 80s.
true.
And all of that shit, the best and the worst were both fucking wrong. Every
Yeah.
song on there.
Oh no, there were some that were right that was in the wrong, but or in the bad,
Yeah,
no,
some that were,
overall,
hey, this is
yeah.
in the wrong list. It should be in the other list. Yeah. But yeah, nothing
Um,
about either one of those lists was correct.
this song and Top Gun were huge for me in the 80s. Um, all I wanted to be was a naval aviator and be super ass cool like the guys in the movie because they were all super cool. Everybody loved them in this movie, and this song was absolute greatness. If you grew up in the 80s, you cannot hear this song and not think about Top Gun.
Mhm.
They go hand in hand, especially our little our little teenage hormones going off on the love scene and everything, and it was actually very well shot, very the silhouettes and everything to the song,
Oh, the
but
whole thing. Yeah, that Top Gun, as far as technically proficient, the whole movie was fucking well lit, well shot. Everything about it
right,
was
right, they did,
beautiful.
and they actually got to go on board and film on board a carrier, which was pretty
Yeah.
wild. It was actually the USS Ranger that they were on, and not the Enterprise, like they
Mhm.
said in the movie. Uh, um, but I've said it once, I'll say it a million times. I miss the '80s, and hearing this song here, I just want to go find my bomber jacket
Yeah,
and put that
it
on.
made bomber jackets possible.
Yes, yes.
Having said that,
This
this
song is
movie
great.
is actually not that good.
I disagree. I
This movie is
completely
not that
disagree.
good.
Um,
It's well shot. It is
I
well lit.
and see, and I think you're in a minority on this. And I have now given Maverick a second watching because I've only seen it once. And when I saw Maverick, I was like, this just kind of rehashes the first one. I watched it a second time, and I'm liking it a lot more.
I love
Um,
Miles Teller.
yes, oh, he's great. I love it, and I think you're going to find you're in the minority on Top Gun. A lot of people like this movie.
I was in the
Uh,
minority about Milli Vanilli until I wasn't. So we'll see.
I think you were in the minority of Milli Vanilli a lot shorter of a time. This movie is 40 years old,
Yeah, I know.
and
I still think it's a shit movie.
and people still love this movie.
Yeah, people still love Titanic. I still say that's a shit movie too.
But Milli Vanilli, people don't still love them. People
Um,
look at them as the joke.
I will say this, though, having said that, the music in this movie was incredible. The sound in this movie was incredible. The lighting in this movie was incredible.
You don't like this movie because of Tom Cruise.
I don't like this movie. I think it's poorly written. I think the dialogue's not good. Tom Cruise makes it worse.
Mm.
Um,
And
Anthony Edwards. They didn't give
we,
Anthony Edwards or
Val
fucking
Kilmer.
Val Kilmer anything to do. And it's like, God damn, dude, you got those two heavy hitters.
They had a lot to do in this movie, but we're not talking about this movie. We have argued about this movie ad nauseum. I'm not going to argue about this movie again.
I'm scared.
I'm not going to argue about this movie again. This song is great. We're talking about
This song is
Take
greatness.
My Breath Away.
This song is
a power
greatness.
ballad.
But there are no guitars in it. There are no power chords in it.
They're not.
There are no power chords in it. It is a ballad. I will give you that.
Power chords. Rethink that one.
Yeah, no, there are no power chords in this. There are no power chords. It's all like minor chords. It's a beautiful song. I'm not distributing that. It is one of the best songs of the 80s. Fuck yeah, it is. It's not a power ballad.
Okay, so let me say this about that. This is your list. Why did you put it in?
Because you wanted it in.
Oh.
And I thought it would make a little controversy.
Well, a lot of people consider this a power ballad because it was huge. It was huge.
It was huge. It was huge. And again, I'm not disputing it as not a good song. One of the best songs of the 80s? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It'd definitely be in the conversation. It's not a power ballad.
Yeah. We disagree on this one. Moving on.
I don't think we disagree on the song. We both love the song.
Right.
The next song again, when I applied this list, I realized there's a Fall Out Boy song that is classified as this. It is Sugar We're Going Down Swinging. It's an American rock band formed in Wilmette, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago in 2001. The band consists of lead vocalist and rhythm guitarist Patrick Stump, bassist Pete Wentz, lead guitarist Joe Troam, and drummer Andy Hurley. The band originated from Chicago's hardcore punk scene and was formed by Wentz and Troman as a pop punk side project. Stump joined shortly thereafter. The group went through a succession of drummers before Hurley joined. The debut album, Take This to Your Grave, became an underground success and helped the band gain a dedicated fan base through heavy touring. With Wentz as the band's lyricist and Stump as the primary composer, Fall Out Boy's 2005 major label breakthrough from Under the Cork Tree produced 2 hit singles, Sugar We're Going Down Swinging and Dance Dance. It went double platinum. And also made Wentz a celebrity and a tabloid fixture. He's real big on the tabloids, but I think it was more of I think he was just kind of fucking with them. I love this tune. This song goes a little harder than some of the rest of our stuff on this list. But to me, I think they were actually trying to make a power ballad when they wrote this song. It is very complex lyrics. Maybe a little too complex for this genre, but to me, it sounds like a power ballad tune, which is why I wanted to put it in. But I said it as honorable mention because I'm not 100% sure on this one. What do you think?
There you go. I know there's a big fan base for Fall Out Boy. I think the song is okay. It's not terrible. It's not bad, but it's not great. I didn't like the Chemical Romance song, but I could see why it was on the list. I'm with you. I'm not sure on this one. I just don't see it as a power ballad. Like I said, I know there's a big fan base out there for this. Why is this one on your list?
Because it hit something in my head. I'm like, my God, is this a power ballad? Is this a power ballad? My God, it seems to fit the criteria. Oh my God, I think this is a power ballad, but okay, so a ballad requires telling a fairly complex story in a short amount of time.
Right.
I think they do that here, but I think their lyrics may be a little too complex.
See, and that's why I would kind of leave this one off the list. I don't think this one qualifies. And like I said, there are people out there that are going to love this song and they like it because they're big Fall Out Boy fans. I just don't know that this one really falls on the list. I mean, for episode 208, the tally is 3 for me that I didn't care for. It's 3 total out of, I think, 12, 13?
12, 13, yeah.
Something like that on this list. I mean, overall, I think that's a pretty fucking good list. I can't wait to go on to next week. There's a whole bunch more on next week's list that I can't
the next 2 weeks, baby.
The next 2 weeks, I can't wait to get into. But there's some really good ones coming up as well. Overall, a great list. Overall, I think everybody should give these a listen. Power ballads can be some really, really good stuff that you just can't help singing along with and just
one of the criteria is it needs to get stuck in your head.
Yeah, you just want to belt this song out. Again, whether you can sing or not, you are just wailing to the song. And pretty much most of these on this list qualify. So.
Yeah, well, I feel like I can play this song in my house and everybody comes out of different rooms and starts singing loudly.
Yeah, and that's how it's going to be on most of them. You know, I completely agree. Great list. Happy we're doing this list. I've been looking forward to this list for weeks now. And I got to listen to most of them over and over and over again. It made me very happy. So great, awesome. Appreciate the work on that.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Stay tuned for next week for part 2. With that, we'll step over to the murdery side of the house.
Murder.
For today, I got my information off Medium, Simply Forensic, and Wikipedia. And this is the murder of Suzanne Capper.
Suzanne Capper?
Capper with a C.
Capper.
Capper.
Suzanne Capper.
I'm going to give a forewarning before I jump into this. This story to me was almost as horrific as the Sylvia Likens story all the way back in episode 2. I know some of our listeners out there cannot deal with a lot of the subjects I cover, and I understand. I just feel compelled to tell a poor victim's story. This is a very, very rough one. You've been warned. So there you go. So it was December 92 in Manchester, England, and one of the most horrifying crimes in British history occurred, which was the torture and murder of 16-year-old Suzanne Capper. What makes this case especially chilling is Suzanne's attackers were not strangers or serial killers. They were people she knew, people she trusted and considered friends. Very similar to Sylvia Likens. Over the period of 7 days, she was held captive, tortured in unspeakable ways, and ultimately set on fire in a secluded woodland area. She managed to survive long enough to name her killers before she succumbed to her injuries. And this case really highlights the extreme depth of human cruelty and the dangers of blind trust. So with that opening, we'll step into it. Suzanne Capper was born in 1976 in Greater Manchester. By all accounts of people she knew, she was a very kind-hearted and a trusting teenager, though she was somewhat naive and easily influenced. She did come from a fractured family background, with her parents separating early in her life. In 1990, she had spent time in the care of the local authority after her mother, Elizabeth Capper, and her stepfather separated, after which Suzanne and her older sister, Michelle, stayed with their stepfather. Tensions at home eventually pushed Suzanne to seek refuge elsewhere, leading her to spend an increasing amount of time at the home of Jean Powell, which was a woman who once babysat her. Around this time, Suzanne began to be truant from Mawston Brook High School, and her attendance during the final 2 years of schooling was described as erratic. Michelle had briefly lived with Jean Powell, but moved out in August 1992 because she didn't like the, quote, evil new friends Powell was associating with, particularly Bernadette McNeely, who had recently moved in three doors down at number 91. Suzanne continued to stay regularly, even though Powell and McNeely frequently bullied her. Her sister said, quote, "It was not that she was scared of them, it's just that she would do anything for them. She pampered their every whim." So Jean Powell's home, which was located at
Anything to not get bullied.
Right. Jean Powell's home, which was located at 97 Langworthy Road in Mawston, Manchester, became a gathering place for people involved in crimes, such as handling stolen vehicles and drug use. Among those frequently present were Powell's former husband, Glenn Powell, her friend and housemate, Bernadette McNeely, McNeely's boyfriend, Anthony Dudson, Powell's brother, Clifford Hook, and another associate, Geoffrey Lee. McNeely, who had 3 children, subsequently moved in with Powell and her 3 children, where the two shared a bed in the downstairs dining room because the bedrooms were full of children. Powell was separated from her husband, Glenn, as I'd said before, but the two remained friendly, and he would visit regularly from his nearby home. McNeely's boyfriend, 16-year-old Anthony Dudson, was also having a sexual relationship with Jean Powell. Powell was also sexually involved with Geoffrey Lee, who was a regular visitor to the house as a purchaser of amphetamines. And these individuals all formed a very toxic group that ultimately became responsible for Suzanne's ordeal. The motive behind what happened was very trivial. Some claim that she had spread rumors about them, while others accused her of bringing lice into the house. Jean Powell claimed that Suzanne had tried to persuade her to sleep with a man for money. And one of the most bizarre grievances was related to a pink duffel coat that she had borrowed from McNeely, which she allegedly refused to return. Really, though, more people believe that Suzanne's mistreatment was more about power and control than any real grievances. She was vulnerable, she was impressionable, and she was very easy to manipulate, which are qualities which made her the perfect target for the sadistic tendencies of her so-called, quote, friends. So on December 7th, 1992, Suzanne was lured into Gene Powell's home under false pretenses. As soon as she entered, the group attacked her, with Glenn shaving her head and eyebrows as a form of humiliation. He placed a plastic bag over her head and walked around her while hitting her on the head. Suzanne was then kicked by Gene and McNeely as she lay curled up on the floor, with both women taking turns beating her with a 3-foot-long wooden instrument and a belt. She was then taken to a bathroom and forced to shave off her own pubic hair as, quote, ritual humiliation in revenge for having caused, as they claim, Dudson and McNeely themselves to be shaved because of the lice. Afterwards, Powell locked her in a cupboard overnight. She was tied to a bed and repeatedly beaten. The group injected her with drugs, burned her with cigarettes, and blasted loud music into her ears for hours on end. A particular song, Hi, I'm Chucky, Wanna Play by 150 Volts, became a twisted theme of her torture that they played in a loop as they taunted her.
You ever heard that tune?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, it's music to go insane to.
Well, and I could imagine this particular case. McNeely in particular seemed to take pleasure in mimicking the voice of Chucky, the murderous doll from the Child Play movies, whispering sinister threats in Suzanne's ear. They subjected Suzanne to further physical and psychological abuse, forcing her to sleep in a bin liner and making her endure freezing temperatures. The following morning, I want to point that out. We've gone through an evening at this point. Suzanne was taken upstairs and locked in another cupboard. She was then transferred to McNeely's house because of concern that Powell and McNeely's 6 children were disturbed by Capper's crying. They moved her because they thought her crying would disturb their children. I don't know. How about not fucking torture her?
Makes sense to me.
Just saying. Her health began to deteriorate rapidly as she became malnourished and weakened from the constant attacks. Her cries for help went unanswered, and despite the horrific conditions, no one came to her rescue. At some point during the week, Pook and Lee called at the house and saw Suzanne blindfolded and gagged, tied to the bed. By this time, Suzanne had been lying in her own urine and feces for several days and was placed in a bath containing concentrated disinfectant and scrubbed with a stiff brush, which had sufficient force to remove the skin. Pook then used pliers to extract 2 of her teeth, which police later found at his house like some sort of trophy. Dudson said, quote, I was stood at the doorway with Gene and Bernie. Cliff took her gag off. He told her to open her mouth. He said, right, I'm going to rip your teeth out. He started hitting her teeth with the pliers. He got the pliers on and started pulling them out, but they just snapped and chipped. Then he hit them a few more times. He pulled that pliers, put the pliers on again and really pulled. He pulled Suzanne's head forward until there was a snap and he had the tooth in the pliers. He did the same thing again and he was laughing. David Hill, who was an 18-year-old, was asked to sit in at the house, and while there, he heard Dudson shouting in the back room. He asked what was going on, and Lee had shown him Suzanne. David Hill could clearly see evidence of torture and was later left alone with Suzanne, but he didn't free her. He said, quote, she asked me if I could help, but I told her I couldn't. I asked her who she was. She said her name was Suzanne. She asked me if I could untie her. I said I couldn't do anything. Hill
He was left alone with her?
Yeah, he later claimed that he was too afraid of Lee to intervene. He said, quote, I thought they would batter me. If I'd said anything, they'd have all got me, wouldn't they? I didn't know what to do. I was too shocked to do anything. Lee and Dudson also...
All right, wait. This is 1992.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah, there's no police presence in the city of Manchester. Because of the stuff that I have studied previously, there was no police presence in the city of Manchester in 1992. That actually makes sense. I'm not forgiving this kid because he should have just grabbed her up and taken her someplace.
Right.
But yeah, no, he's not 100% wrong. Totally different story now. But please continue.
No problem. Well, Lee and Dudson also helped Suzanne's sister's fiance, Paul Barlow, to repair his car while knowing she was being held and tortured in the house. Paul Barlow did later say, quote, "They could have told me there and then, the door would have been kicked down and I would have got Suzanne out. I did not think they were capable of such savagery. Now all I want is 10 minutes with them in a back room." So after a week of torture, okay, I have to read this sentence. After a week of torture, the group decided they had had enough. The group decided that they had had enough. Let that one sink in for a minute. However, instead of simply letting Suzanne go, they devised of a plan to dispose of her permanently. The 6 primary attackers heard that Suzanne's family was going to report her as a missing person, and so agreed that Suzanne had to be removed from the house. And so on December 14th, 1992, the group bundled Suzanne into a stolen car and drove her to a remote wooded area near Stockport, also known as Romilly. They forced her out of the car, they stripped her, they doused her in gasoline. McNeely had difficulty getting the gas to ignite. And then Glenn Powell and Dudson made multiple attempts before igniting Suzanne's body on fire. McNeely began to sing "Burn, Baby, Burn" from Disco Inferno. And then she was engulfed in flames, and the group left her to die alone in the freezing night. Suzanne, however, was not ready to give up. She miraculously survived the initial burning and in sheer agony managed to stagger for almost a mile before collapsing near a road. She was found at 6:10 a.m. by Barry Sutcliffe and 2 of his colleagues on their way to work. They immediately took her to a nearby house and roused
He's in the fucking moors too.
Yeah.
It-
I have that coming up.
Yeah, in the fucking moors. And what's really sad is, the moors look like a nice, slow sloping grassland. There are these little crags that are 2-3 feet deep
Mm-hmm.
that you can't see.
Right.
And you'll break an ankle, break a knee, get stuck out there and die because they're about that deep.
So they called for an ambulance at the house they went to. It was the house of Michael and Margaret Coop. Michael Coop said, quote, "Both her hands appeared like ash. Her legs were just like raw meat, and her feet appeared to be badly charred. I was struck by how polite the victim was. She was constantly thanking my wife for her assistance." Margaret Coop said, quote,
She was thanking her rescuer.
Yes. I instinctively went to put my arms around her, but she pulled away because she could not bear to be touched. Her head was shaved, and there was recent, not new, cuts to her head. Her face was almost featureless. Her hands were red raw and black fingertips. Her legs were red from top to bottom, and she couldn't bear anything near her legs. Her body had been covered in 80% in burns, which Suzanne drank 6 glasses of water, was unable to hold the glass herself because of the injury to her hands. She was rushed to the hospital and was able to give the names of her 6 assailants as well as Gene Powell's address before she fell into a coma. Doctors fought desperately to save her. The extent of her burns were such that her mother and stepfather were unable to recognize her. She was positively identified by a partial fingerprint by her thumb, the only part of her hand not severely burned. However, her injuries were too severe and she succumbed to her wounds on December 18th, 1992, without ever regaining consciousness. Authorities wasted no time in arresting Gene Powell, Bernadette McNeely, Glenn Powell, Anthony Dutson, Clifford Pook, and Geoffrey Lee. When investigators entered Powell's house, they found clear evidence of Suzanne's captivity, including restraints, drug paraphernalia, and bloodstains. The group showed no remorse during their arrests, with some even laughing and joking as they were taken into custody. Detectives conducting the investigation said that, quote, "For sheer mindless brutality, the crime ranked alongside the torture inflicted upon the victims of the Moors murders, which we covered back in episode 152. Pause, go back, listen to 152 if you haven't. Okay, we're back. Police officers were said to have wept at the extent of Suzanne's suffering as the extent was revealed. The trial was held in 1993, and it was one of the most shocking in British criminal history. The prosecution presented overwhelming evidence of the torture Suzanne endured, including her own statements before her death and forensic findings from Gene Powell's home. In December of 93, the following sentences were handed down. Gene Powell, Bernadette McNeely, and Glenn Powell were convicted of murder and sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 25 years. Anthony Dudson was convicted of murder and sentenced to detention at Her Majesty's pleasure, the juvenile equivalent of a life sentence. Clifford Pook and Geoffrey Lee were convicted of false imprisonment and other related charges, receiving lesser sentences. McNeely and Powell later had their sentences reduced on appeal, sparking public outrage. As the sentences were announced, 2 jurors wept, and there were cries of yes, yes from the public gallery, which was filled with relatives of the victim. In a statement to the press after sentencing, Detective Wall, who led the investigation, said, quote, "Psychological reports say these are absolutely sane individuals. It's frightening that they are such ordinary people. There's nothing special about any of them." So Suzanne Capper's murder left a mark on British society. It was a stark reminder of the dangers of blind trust and the capacity for human cruelty. The sheer sadism involved in her torture shocked even seasoned investigators. It shocked me. Like I said, this took me all the way back to the Sylvia Likens case with just the sheer torture.
Yeah, you've studied 208 of these, man.
Yeah. And when I come to some that just shock me, it's shocking. This case it also shed light on dangerous environments some vulnerable teenagers find themselves in, which highlight the need for greater awareness and intervention in cases of abuse and exploitation. We've talked about this before. You've got to say something. Suzanne's story has been recounted in various documentaries and books, ensuring that her memory is not forgotten. All the perpetrators have been released now. This has been met with public outcry, particularly from Suzanne's family and victim advocacy groups. I think there was an inadequacy of sentencing for this extreme crime, and I think that should have been looked at. I don't think these people should be released now. Some have questioned whether justice can really be served when individuals who've committed crimes like this are allowed to reintegrate society. Critics of the parole system argue that psychological and physical trauma, like what was inflicted upon Suzanne, is so severe that life imprisonment without parole should have been the standard for all involved. I do kind of believe that. On the other hand, proponents of a rehabilitation contend that these people, after decades of incarceration, may have been reformed and deserve an opportunity to contribute to society. That's where I disagree.
Well, I mean, they could have contributed by to society by figuring out how the fuck they broke bad.
Right.
Yeah, that's their contribution. Figure out how the fuck they broke bad.
And you and I have had this debate, and I'm not going to jump into this, but they're not given the death penalty. These people are given life, and they were sentenced to life, and they're now free. I think for a crime this heinous, I agree. It's life. Yeah. No opportunity for parole. Yeah. You're never getting out. You're never going to see freedom. Yeah. You took this girl's freedom. Yeah. Not only did you take,
you give them a choice. It's like, okay, either you sit in general pop and we tell everybody what you did, or you come in and we try to figure out why the fuck you did what you did, so we can prevent it from happening to other people.
Right. I don't disagree.
That'd be the only choice I would give them.
But the way I look at it, not only did they prevent Suzanne from having a free life to do the things she wanted to do.
She's 16 years old, goddammit.
But they tortured her beforehand. Yeah. Her death wasn't quick. No. She suffered.
Yeah. She suffered immensely.
Yes. And I don't think that parole makes these people suffer enough. I think it should be life in that particular case. This remains one of the most disturbing crimes in British history.
I think it's because of this and other things that they've gotten a lot of police reform, especially up in the underfunded North.
Probably.
Which is, If anything else, it helped because, like I said, man, but 92, I don't know, police up in there. There's all kinds of crazy shit going on in them streets.
Um, Nothing can undo the horror she endured.
Mm-mm.
These people were convicted. They were put in jail. They're out now, and I just don't find it just. She was the victim of extreme cruelty.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
At any point in 7 days, this is not a crime of passion. At
no,
any point in 7 days, one of those people could have stood up and went, "What the fuck are we doing?
yeah.
Why are we doing this?"
This case still stands as a reference point when people discuss sentencing, parole, and rehabilitation of violent offenders. Um, it it has influenced forensic science to this day in victim support systems. This case has helped make advancements in forensic documentation, psychological profiling.
The dangers of methamphetamine drug use,
Yeah,
which basically sever your ability to feel empathy.
yeah, yeah, and that's
Specifically,
exactly
methamphetamines do that.
right. And obviously they did on this because they did so much.
Mhm.
This is one of the darkest chapters in British criminal history. It really does, and the case thankfully has stayed in the public because she needs to be remembered.
Mhm.
And this is exactly why we'll tell a story like this. Suzanne Capper deserves to be remembered. She was a 16-year-old girl whose life was cut short after horrific torture.
Mhm.
I can't even imagine. She probably wanted to give up. She probably begged for them to kill her.
Mhm.
We've had some like that where we had definitive evidence that they begged to die. And I can't imagine that she was not this way.
Mhm.
This was absolutely horrible, but I had to tell her case because I wanted to highlight Suzanne Capper, her brief life. Um, she, according to all sources, was very kind-hearted and a very gentle soul. She was very trusting, and it's very sad. I hope these people, even though they're now paroled, I hope they are living a horrible life. I just have to say that. So that's the story of the murder of Suzanne Capper.
Well, thank you for that, sir. That was fascinating and
Yep,
sad.
very sad. But I appreciate your time with that. So that will take us to the end of another recording week. You can find more information about us on nerdery.com. That's our hub for everything about the show. You can find links to the topics we talk about, as well as pictures, and you'll also find the link to our YouTube page, which Zig so often updates.
Yes, please go out there and check it out if you haven't already. It's got the song list in it. Matter of fact, check out next week's while you're at it because we're going to be talking about that too.
Yep.
And the week after.
Yes, give that a shot. I appreciate the work you do on that. You can also find the link to our merchandise page, where if you wish to show off your Nerdery Murdery fandom, please do consider purchasing something for there. You'll also find the link to our Patreon, where if you wish to become a patron and help donate to the costs that are associated with this show, all the donations from there, as well as the sales from our merchandise, do go to keeping us on the air for our uploads, our storage space, our website, everything that goes into bringing into your life the topics we discuss. We appreciate each and every one of you. Please and thank you. Please don't forget to leave a 5-star review wherever you can. It really helps us, helps others find our content that may be looking for the information we discuss. It is completely free for you and only takes a couple of minutes. And last but not least, my friend Chuck, you may go to sleep now.
Good night, Chuck.
Good night, Chuck and Cookie.
And Cookie.
With that,
I have been Zig with your Nerdery.
and I'm Geoffrey with your Murdery.
Cue the music.